This project is built around the expedition of Lewis and Clark and in particular, their trip to the West Coast. I've got to add a few points here to finish up the project, and we'll mark where they finished. This is the Corps of Discovery, as they call themselves. Here's the timeline of our video, but this is kind of as if they had traveled the same amount every day, which isn't really how things happened. So I'm going to add a few historic notes here. I have my cheat sheet. It says that they started in May of 1804. They got to the West Coast in November of 1805, so I want to reflect that. So I'm creating a timeline, typing in 1804 and the dates. And then at the other end of the timeline, when did they finish up? 1805. And because I'm using a timeline, I'm going to click here to show it. And there's my timeline. One thing I want to show in this video is how much time they spent in the winter in one spot. They put up in a place called Fort Madden. So I'm going to create two events. Here's my first event. And they arrived there in October. And then they left there in April of 1805. Got to make sure I click to use the date line. Now I want to pick up the events, the little path points that are right next to the fort. So I'm zooming in here and clicking on that path point just before the fort, and there, it's highlighted. And so I want to lock that to, see right now it's not locking, it's just snapping back and forth. So there, I'm going to drop it on the event, and I'm going to take the other path point, the one right behind it, and drop it on the other event. So you can kind of see that of that first 2 years of expedition, the middle third of it was spent in their winter accommodations. We kind of zoom through it, stepping forward, and all of a sudden we see that, yep, there's for a few steps, they're in the same spot in the fort. Okay, that's good. The last thing I'm going to do is add a little clock or calendar to the corner of my video. It's easiest to see this on the video tab in the preview motion. I'm going to turn off the hour, minute, and second, something that spans 2 years. It doesn't really make any sense to see those. I'm also going to choose the option of seeing the name of the month instead of the number, and we'll rearrange it to month, day, year. We can play with lots of other things like where it's located, the color, the fonts, and so forth. But now I'm just going to make the video. And here's the final product.